Good afternoon. Right now, we're going to make a program with Mark, Kirk, McMillian. We're going to talk about a little bit about the patents. You know that since the Babylonia era to up to now, most of our technology created most of the time. If you don't believe it, you have to investigate a little bit by RH negative blood. Okay, but these technologies go directly to these elites, and it's handled by them by centuries.
Right.
Up to now, there are some people that have survived this elite army, that they have to block all the technology and science worldwide. And we have in this program Kirk McMillian, and I think that I myself. Okay, so it is important that you know what we're going to tell you, because it's a fact right now that most of our technology is used against us in certain way, and basically it's to protect these elites. Okay, so thank you very much for being with us, Kirk McMillian. Can you explain us a little bit all this situation about the patent that you have and what's going on? I mean, what is happening with you right now about technology and science?
Okay. All right. Well, I don't have a patent. This is my father's patent, and he has many. Starting in with a team, they put radar in aircraft for World War II, and going on from there, he patented the stealth skin that goes on all the stealth aircraft, and then on from there, some other patents, ground penetrating radar, and that's sort of was. That's how it is. It's on record, and that's the background I have. Son, the only son, and I'm living in his shadow, so to speak, and trying to survive, trying to get by. We've made this contribution, just like you have, Adalberto, to your people, to humanity. That's really what it's about. With this phenomenal software technology that you've created. I'm convinced you created.
Yeah, I mean, I have a patent in Mexico City, a student at the National Polytechnic Institute. I have several scholarships from CONACYT, even the Mexican Petroleum Institute. So I have all these proofs that basically SAP and Oracle and other companies stole my technology. Then it's not only the ERP technology; it's as well the business database technology that is used mainly by Oracle and right now HANA with SAP. So I already have this kind of proof. Do you have so in your case your dad has a U.S. patent, okay, number as well as I do,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah. U.S. patent 2008-22-539, patented in 1958, applied for in 1953 or 52, I can't remember. And I was 3 years old when he patented, and we had a company, a McMillian company, and we made the nose cones for airplanes because in airplanes, that's where the radar gear is that navigates. So uh, that's where it came from, and has since gone, you know, uh, into many other applications. The SR-71 Blackbird uh, and F-117A aircraft, B-2 bomber, so on. Any of the aircraft you see that has a black skin, that's Father's original invention. So
Yeah,
it's gone.
well,
Yeah, it's gone.
what I can see clearly is that it's related with the military. In my case, I think that in Mexico City, also the Mexican military is involved in stealing technology. You know that the Illuminatis are having several secret societies. For example, they create secret societies in education, in the military, and other sectors like the bank and financial sectors to make sure that they are controlling, I mean, all these Illuminati farm around the world. So in my case, what I noticed when I first contacted you is that you have issues with the military. I think that in my case it's the same because these Mexican military are introduced in the universities to start tracking us in certain way, and when we create the technology, I think that right away they took it,
But
and they send them directly to these groups of secret societies to know which Illuminati corporate can use it. And
right.
after they identify which one, they're going to give the technology, and they're going to be people working in that. The advantage of them is that they have a lot of resources that we don't have, and basically what I noticed after I created this technology 20 years ago, in my case, I noticed that this technology is used in an evil way. I mean, it's not the right situation. They are not using science like it's supposed to be done using industrial engineering. As you know, industrial engineering is related with a lot of science and engineering sectors than has to be applied to my technology specifically. They didn't do it in that way. What happened with your technology? I mean, this technology was used straightforward, or they also use some kind of secret knowledge that they already have to apply it to a specific.
No, uh, no, just like you, it mirrors what happened to you perfectly. This is back before anybody expected it, and you nailed it. My father nailed it, and that was that. So therein lies the problem, because you know uh, you call it the Illuminati, I call it money. Uh, you know they just money's not creative. They need creative people, and they don't care. Money just you know big money just rolls on, and I don't really have that big of an issue with that, other than I would like to survive. I'd like this to not be a problem for me. I'd like this to not be a problem for you and your family. I'd like this to not be a problem for anybody who endeavors to invent and create. And but that's the sad fact of the matter is it is a problem. Anybody who and it's nothing new. Tesla got shorted on credit for his creativity with Edison, and it's just it's an old story. You
Okay.
know,
Okay, in my situation, immediately I create the technology. I think that this guy, they use some kind of tracking system. Even they follow me to with my employers, with other studies that I did to try to even to block me, to sabotage, not only professionally but also in my credit. I am an target individual as well. They put me a MKULTRA in the Sparrow Hospital by two scientists hired by the Clintons. And this guy, what we see is the laws right now in the states. I mean, are coming more. We are more like a banana country right now because we
yeah,
cannot. The laws are not protecting everybody. I mean, the laws are not the same for everybody. So,
yeah.
so it seems that these guys they have other kind of constitution that is not the U.S. Constitution. So, what happened in your case after your father has this patent? It happened something with your family. You were
Yeah,
harassed.
right. Well,
Yeah.
you know, we lived in New York at the time. In the Northeast, and a move was made to to buy us out, and out of that, we ended up on kind of on our own. I don't go into too much. Uh, from what my father relayed to me, the people that endeavored to buy our company out were Gambino crime family people, and the 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 front, the buyout was just a front to make sure that the credit where credit is due for this radar absorber was never realized by my family, and so you know that's how I'm here where I am now, still trying to survive it all. I can relate to you trying to with what you say about harassment. I would say uh, it mostly has to do with being displaced. And I've said this to you before that the real problem are the lower rung upstarts who would like to be the one that takes us out, one that takes you out. So, we just have to walk a very straight line and not let them get away with that. That's all there is to it.
Yeah, yeah, I think that is so difficult. In my case, I have the opportunity to turn the red alert in the U.S. Embassy in Mexico City when I was attacked for all the U.S. and Mexicans agencies than you can imagine. So, in my case, even right now, I know that today the Department of State try to get again the Hillary email case against in a legal situation because I mean they are not supporting the idea of the Department of Justice and he's innocent. So that's pretty good for me because I have been working trying to have all the evidence to show that these guys they're really controlling all these science and technology situations, and even in the state they are reporting to China, to Russia, to India about our technology. So our technology goes to those countries, definitely. So maybe they are using other situation, but they are using basically our own technology, and they are not paying anything.
Right.
And these Illuminatis are getting all the money for themselves. I don't, what do you think about that? I mean,
Yeah.
it is happening really that the U.S. technology goes to other countries?
Right. So this is what's different between your case and mine. Your software and computer abilities are are is, I don't know, they're quite a threat. They're a threat to exposure. I've followed closely what you've um, revealed, what you've said, what you've claimed, and therein lies the problem. They can't just let that kind of information, that kind of testimony run amok in public. It just draws too many questions, too much interest, and so I would hope that through this conversation and through what we do, that we can move above that, ahead of that, and to not be just I don't expect them to do what they can't do. You know, I really feel like all of this is up to us. I mean, if we're the ones that invented it, well, then we're the ones that have to invent the solution to this problem now. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I am pretty sure about that. That's my same case. I think that SAP and Oracle's definitely are going to be out of the business because, as a matter of fact, they are doing accounting and fiscal frauds all over the world. I think that with Trump, we're going to have the opportunity to make all these changes because definitely the United States has to It has to be the first country in the world. I think that he has to lead all these processes, and they have to use my technology because since Babylonia, we don't know what happened with the Persians, what happened with the Egyptians. We don't know what happened with the Romans, especially because we already know that they need specialized people who
Hmm.
can handle this accounting and fiscal process. That's the only way to keep the
Yeah.
imperium working.
So
So
there
and
you
we
have
don't know. So they keep it like a secret. So they don't tell anybody what's going on. And that's the way that I find out that these guys they were stealing my technology definitely because most of these Indian consultants are coming with MKULTRA and they don't know any basic concept about industrial engineering, not even activity-based costing, and they are using just the systems in business processes in government and corporates where we use industrial engineering. So we cannot use only systems. We have that's a multidisciplinary
yeah.
all the business involve multidisciplinary science and technology, so we have to use several areas at the same time. So my
Well, see,
technology allows to do that. In your case, what are the specific of the patent? I mean, if you want to talk a little bit deeper about the technology, what is happening with the aircraft? Then
well, it's moved on. You don't see any of the black skin stealth anymore. It's a new, it's a different technology, but yet still, the job got done with the black skin. They made the progress. We made the progress with it. One could even say the SR-71 won the Cold War. The F-117A stopped Iraq from giving us a black eye in the Gulf War. So, but regardless, you know, the, my situation is a lot more obscure than yours because uh, with you, you have this uh, ability to review these fiscal frauds, and that's really the Achilles heel. It's kind of frightening to me. Um, if I were, like you said, Hillary or someone who or anybody involved in this sort of chicanery, someone who can who has this technology and ability to to, to I mean, to say what you do about the fiscal frauds with India, well, we know that's so, but I mean, and China, yeah, you know, this is what's got you targeted.
yeah, that's true.
If
I
it,
mean,
if it,
this secret method that they are using the Illuminati is difficult. It's difficult to pinpoint really what is going on after stealing the technology. So I know it perfectly. I mean, these guys they have secret systems that allow them to have whatever technology they want, and after to keep it a secret and to do whatever they want when they sabotage the one who created the technology. That's the case of I think Galileo. That's the case of Tesla. Then they were dismissed by these guys where they use the technology and they improve the technology. In my case, I consider myself as the father of industrial engineering as a science
yeah,
because my technology allows to do that, can be used in several countries in the
right,
same way, and I don't care about the age of the technology. I mean, because my technology is developed using industrial engineering itself. Okay,
yeah,
so the structure of my technology allows to have industrial engineering the core center of all this development, and all the applied sciences that we use has human resources in human resources like psychology, sociology, other kind of areas that are used in business, in government and corporates can be applied to that technology, both following the structure of the what is called right now the ERP technology. and what is called right now the business database, and are right now with the direction of the big data and others. But I mean, it's something that we have to analyze properly, because SAP
Yeah.
and Oracle right now, they are crazy because they know me already,
Yeah.
and they are moving
Oh,
to
no.
and they are moving to hide all this situation to the world. So
Yeah.
they are blocking me in the media, etc. So if a scientist and a technology, or a technologist wants to is creating something new, to have a patent, they have to make sure before to deliver this technology to others, to know exactly that they have the patent first, and second, then they can track these guys and to know exactly who is managing these technologies. I know exactly that the Rothschilds are involved and the Rockefellers are involved, because in my case the finance situation is done at the highest level of the Illuminati pyramid.
Yeah.
So I know exactly. But in other case of technology, maybe in your case here, you have to check who is really using this kind of technology. I will say maybe the Bush, maybe the okay, but we need to know exactly who is using this technology, because the Illuminatis are having several branches, and I think depending on the technology, they are handling different kind of situation with the Illuminati corporates. So that's really difficult. Do you think that that's the reason that you are not able to have the rewards for having this technology in your family? I mean,
That's a good
economic.
question. I'm glad you got around to that, because that's really where the rubber meets the road. Well, I thought that for a while. I would um, challenge people to come up with a price that they thought it was worth, and no one ever could. And then I finally realized that were they even to pay for it, whatever they paid for it wouldn't even be real currency. It wouldn't be, uh, it wouldn't be anything like real estate. So I resign myself to the fact that it's just a fact of his history, and it grants me de facto, at least as long as I'm alive, uh, a great deal of say so over the country we call United States. I don't think there's any technology uh, that's it's not even it's a military technology, but it's not hostile. It's not bombs. There's anything that's accomplished more and of higher value. So it can't, they really don't even have the money to pay for it. So I'm okay with that. I just want to live my life, but I'm going to have say so in my own country.
Yeah,
As you should.
yeah, sure.
Yeah, if you're going to give this much, okay. So forget the money. I want say so, or don't use it.
Okay.
You see what I
Okay.
mean?
Yeah. Okay. In my case, I present a criminal suit after
Yeah.
analyze with several lawyers what is going to be, what will be the best procedure to go against SAP, Oracle, all the partners, and of course Bush and Gortari that were involved with the NAFTA process before when I created the technology, and I think that can be evaluated in trillions of dollars. Of course, this can be used for long, long, long time. I mean, I hope that my heritage can have this technology for really for the humanity and not be kept by these elites. But I think that no, there should be some way to evaluate this technology that was created by your father. I think that you should know more or less the value of or what are you doing legally right now?
I don't have to do anything. They've, any if uh, any chance to challenge my legal claim has passed, so they're in forfeit, and it's a matter of U.S. Patent Office record. So, uh, and I have more proof than that. So, we're sort of past that, and you know, I'm not looking to, in fact, I'll tell you, I'll put it this way: even if someone was to come up and say, well, Kirk, here, we'll give you 20 million, 20 billion, whatever dollars, uh, if you just shut up and go to Scotland or whatever. No, this is my country. We didn't, that would be dishonoring my father. We didn't, he didn't do all this for Scotland or for, that was incidental. He did that to protect our country, and don't make a fool out of him.
Okay, okay, that's interesting to know. Well,
See?
in my case, if I have this technology available to do the licenses around the world, I will try to have this technology also behind the U.S. government as a fact. As I said before, this should be done only with Trump because in the case of Hillary, she has me attack me. I mean, in the worst way than you can imagine, even trying to kill me. And I'm supporting really Trump for doing this kind of changes and he wants to
Yeah,
do for the states, and it's going to be worldwide because after the states, all the countries are going to go to the same directions, and maybe all these Illuminatis are going to disappear. Definitely worldwide because they're doing a lot of cheeky stuff, and I understand what you think that you are supporting the U.S. government. I hope that the U.S. government can help you in any way because, I mean, and a lot of inventors of patents in the state because we have been screwed
yeah.
by
Well,
by these guys. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, right.
definitely. And secondly, I think that the U.S. Has a lot of responsibilities because right now everybody is looking the laws in the states. So if we're not doing the thing properly, they're going to know that all the world is not going to be care anymore about the patents. They're going to treat us as slavers. I mean, it's coming a big change if we don't change really.
Right. Well, yeah. This is going to be an interesting situation with Hillary. She just got a pass on from the FBI for charges on the email. But we're seeing Mr. Trump, handle these things, and he just keeps leapfrogging, all these shenanigans, and I would hope that he continues. He's a self-made man. You know, he he built and earned as opposed to you know
Hmm.
politics for money, and yeah, I would hope it continues. But I won't say until it's done, and and that's our hope. And so, my whole philosophy is outlast them.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are science and technologies, and we are working in facts. Okay,
Yeah,
so we have to see really that whatever the politicians are saying are facts because the war has been. I mean, we have to continue working with facts, not with
right,
lies. Okay,
right.
yeah.
Not
The,
feelings, but the facts. Facts first, feelings second. Yeah,
Well, um, well, in my case, as I said before, the United States can take advantage of all the situations of accounting and fiscal fraud that the Illuminati have done for centuries. That's the first time in all the, I think, in all the humanity that we have the chance to really know and what they are doing and identify exactly the criminal acts that they are doing and put them in jail definitely, and it's happening right now. It's not even an imagination right now.
right. Well,
uh,
yeah. Well,
about your particular situation, how do you protect yourself of this continuous attack of
uh,
the
like
Illuminati? Yeah.
Right. Well, as I told you, and I recommend to anybody, is don't be pushed out into a cube. be involved. I attend a church. I'm around people. I make as many friends as I can. I'm as visible as I can be. I'm on Facebook, and I won't do their job. I will stay as public as possible, and that's my best bet. I don't have the family like you do, so I have to. But at the same time, the family is yet another thing to worry about. But this is what I think we're going to accomplish with this video is that it will now become public that we've talked. I've heard your situation, um, the direness of it, how serious it is, and so it can't be said that no one heard about it.
Yeah, I think that in your case is perfect the way that you handle this situation. My case is different because, as you know, I have family. I have family in
Yeah,
Mexico. I have
that's very
family
hard.
in the
Very
States,
hard.
and I had been attacked really, really bad. I mean, for example, I went to Atlanta. I told you about that, and I was attacking the airplane. I was attacking at the hotel, using this target individual. Okay, using gun stalkers. Even I have been reported several times to Department of Homeland Security, with the FBI, with the Department of States and others, and they are part of the system.
And that's I don't see that as bad because that's once again keeping our names out there, and I don't have any problem. Let them. I'm just uh, I just I have a very philosophic view of this, and you can't do anything against truth, only for it. So ultimately we have due process in the United States. So uh, we
Yeah,
we're the last people. You're, if I were a judge or if I were one of these paid fors, I wouldn't want you in my court. I wouldn't want to have to, try to answer that. It would be a disaster. It would
yeah,
just
yeah.
start dominoes to tumbling, and it would just get worse from there. And it's been that way for me for a long time. You know, uh, they
Yeah,
want me in court about anything.
yeah, I think that the target individuals community are working, are trying to working out this situation legally, and there are there have to be several changes in the laws, in the U.S. laws, to protect more the citizens. Okay, because you know that they are using foreigners, even illegal aliens, that are chained in the states for doing this gun stalking. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
terrible.
yeah. Well, I'd like to point out that you always see this cyclical pattern in history where, and let's just take recent history with Germany and so-called World War II, where previous to that we had the Weimar Republic, which is full of decadence and depravity, just wanton depravity, and it's like a pendulum. It swung that way, and then it swung to the fascist system, and it's just sort of nature's way of cleaning up. Uh, I'm not gonna say that's wrong. I don't like degeneracy and depravity, and so be it then. And I think this is what motivates Mr. Trump is that he works so hard, he sees what he sees, and he's on the inside, and he just says, "Wait, enough is enough. This is ridiculous," and that's how it starts. I mean, there's only so much of that crap you can stand, and so the pendulum swings the other way, and it's their turn to cry.
How do you differentiate all this situation, for example, with the all kinds of RH blood in comparison with the negative blood, and also the the Jews Illuminati, the Catholic Illuminati, then are considered like a satanic phenomenon for
Oh,
centuries. I mean,
but
you know about the reptilians as well, and
yeah, well,
the
I have.
extraterrestrial. How can you explain the creation of science and technology around the world using this situation? What is what, in your point of view? What are the main points with the humanity has to follow with all this situation of different kind of blood, the different kind of even extraterrestrial, reptilians, and others.
Well, I'm glad you asked that. I have a Grandmaster Mason and Grandmaster in so-called Illuminati that lives in Rome that has been very helpful. And he is the bottom line message is from him is that it's in such they're in such disarray because of all these different uh, rites, the different Egyptian rites. It's basically an Egyptian system um, that he just had to get out of it and try to come in and try to you know keep it from some sort of meltdown. They're really uh, uh, it's really just that bad, with Satanism in the Vatican and like certain pedophilic rites and there's all these different groups or rituals or rites. So uh, he he's been a big help. I mean, understanding on their end what they're dealing with. Trying to stay alive themselves. I would say they've just gotten uh, way in over their heads, too complicated, and that's they just don't really. They're just struggling just as much as you and me. They're not immune to the laws of the universe.
Hmm. Yeah, I didn't know about all this situation of the child trafficking and everything
Yes.
related with the CPS in
Right.
United States. I mean, everything is controlled by the Department of State, and a lot of these techniques of eliminating people around the world are created by the CIA. It seems that these kind of methods are coming out. Well, I think that they're coming from the Babylonia era, but the most current situation is coming from Germany. They're telling about people who work directly with Hitler, then they were assimilated in the U.S. And right now we instead of using U.S. Methods has our culture, they are using Hitler's methodologies. Do you think that is what is happening right now?
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because the MK Ultra project, you know, for the most part, originated in Germany, and with the assistance of Anglo-Saxons, you know, came to the United States, and that was the beginning of what I call the hands-on uh, experimenting, where you would experiment with LSD on individuals and uh, firsthand trauma programming, where you traumatize someone and create a dissociative identity that you can control, and so on. But now that is all unlike what everybody is told. That has not ended with the revealing of the fact of the MK Ultra project. It has gone full off hands, where it can now it's now people are able it's able it's it has reached the ability to mind control people, and it's obvious through media and through electromagnetic frequencies HARP, all these are an offshoot of MKUltra, and so this is why in my spare time, I specialize in deprogramming people that have been caught in a cube. I call it a cube, where they're stuck in a frame of mind that's self-destructive, and help to get them out. It's but that's pretty much how that
Yeah.
came. Yeah, and even that the original it's an occult technology. In fact, way back in Egypt, it was used to control people. In fact, even my Freemason Illuminati friend in Rome says, well, this is what some of these people he even says that George Bush, I guess the younger one, I'm not sure which one, they would allow himself to be taken over by a demon in a ritual, and which is the same thing as the Illuminati or the MKUltra trying to take over a person's subconscious, and in order to control them for whatever sex trafficking or for assassination or whatever they wanted. But as miserable as that sounds, the good side of it is that in the test to see if the God part, what we call the God part of our soul, could be broken and infested with these demons, that failed. So that's something encouraging. So I would just have people know that you don't have to be controlled by this thing. You and me both agree that TV is a menace, and I would assure people that it is controlling you through mnemonic sounds, through sigil magic. So don't watch it. You want to have your soul back, or you want to just be miserable. It's 2 steps backwards for every step forward. So this is how it is.
Yeah, I think that all these technologies are totally misleading the real humans approach, because for example, this week it was found out that Napoleon has some kind of chip in the brain. Okay, so because he was too advanced, like they say that 100 years in advance of the technology, military technology that that was used in that epoch. So that's extraordinary discovery, because even there are some chips that were found in Russia that is coming from before the Babylonic epoch. So all this technology is showing us that we have a humanity before, has we have been talking about the extraterrestrial origin of the RH negative than was living before, centuries before the Babylonians. And we were using these technologies. So I think
Yeah.
that with my technology, the ERP technology with the business database can unite all these sciences that are not considered right now sciences. Only for a scientific guy, it's only physics, it's only mathematics, it's only maths, as I said, it's only chemistry, okay? But industrial engineering, psychology, sociology, and another kind of subjects are not considered really a science. Using my technology, we can approach all these branches of sciences in one of several. Okay, so I am pretty sure that this technology is going to unify all this kind of technology. Then is basically the purpose of the science. That the blood studies in Europe using it found that there are some physical particles related with the spirit. Okay, and it's something that the blood has itself, and we didn't know, and a lot of people they were trying to handle this kind of knowledge, but we didn't have any science. S- Science that supports all these for many people crazy ideas, but right now we are discovering that in fact humans they have these particulars in the blood. So in your concept, I mean, do you think that all these technologies are going to be only one? I mean, we're going to handle all these branches of technologies in only one, or we're going to be, or they are going to be keep it separated, like physics, like maths, like chemistry. I mean, and the other ones. How do you think it's going to be the future?
Very good question. One of my best friends, and he's an adept. Um, as in my opinion, he's more adept than the Illuminati Grandmaster that I have contacts with, um, and he's pointed out that we're already cyborgs. Like in the Terminator movies, you have the cyborg, controlled by. Well, we're already. That's what our cell phone is. Our cell phone tracks us everywhere we go. We communicate. You and me are communicating right now through cyberspace. We're already there. We're already what do you call post-human? We went post-human as soon as the internet, which is Skynet allegory from Terminator. Uh, that's when we went, and I'm okay with that. It's a natural progression, and I'm not drawing any conclusions to it. I just want to be honest with myself about it. That's what it is. Um, before internet, we wrote our communications out in letters, and or said it, and use a pen. Well, now we use a keyboard, and he also pointed out all languages. Speaking of languages, is spell casting, and it's all based on spelling. You go to and learn your spelling. In grammar, is grimoire from the Egyptian system of Book of the Dead. So I'm okay that now we've moved to this. Obviously, it's been to our advantage because you and me can communicate with each other. I would have never known who you were previously, and it works both ways.
Yeah.
It's not just for whoever is, artificial intelligence is controlling it all, be that Saturn or some computer in the Netherlands or Belgium. No, it works both ways.
Yeah, that's correct. I can see this situation 20 years ago than when I created the ERP technology and the business database. I mean, I was really I can see that there were developments in the MKULTRA and other studies in the brain, and everything will be related to the computer. So even I get involved in the informatic bachelor degree than I was in my university. And right now, what I can see clearly is that the humans are going to be connected to the computer, but this has to be in the best way possible. I mean, this has to be related with training, so we can learn faster to do some things than even we don't need to pass to a university. Maybe we can have this knowledge how to use an helicopter and all this. I mean, that's an idea. But basically, what is needed is an intermediate technology, then it's going to be what is called right now the ERP technology or the business database technology, because it centralizes, integrate all these knowledges that we have right now. I think that is going to be the direction. That's why immediately I identified this situation, because as a target individual, I noticed all these kind of situation. But these are used right now for torture and killing and murder. Okay, and
Oh,
it has to be a change. So we're talking about here that changes in laws, changes in maybe in our constitution, because this is going to be a worldwide situation. What do you think are going to be the changes to make it work really? Because right now, as I said before, it's only torture and it's murder
I'm glad you
and
asked
control.
that, most of all, because what we're basically dealing with, even the Bible uh, backs this up, and it's obvious that there's a blood feud going on. It's I mean, it's just as obvious as can be, and uh, it, that being the case, uh, you know, what would everybody, like, in concern for their own family, not what someone else does, want? Do you want a big war between these two bloods, or do you want to work something out where, because there is enough room on this planet for both? Obviously, the Creator created both, so you know, there you have it. There has to be peace over this blood feud, and you and me are in that minority that we discussed, and I guess in God's providence, He saw fit to give us the advantage we would need to survive throughout the millennia. Um, the pharaohs were RH negative, and before that, Sumerians, and even before the Sumerians, it didn't start in Samaria. So all the royalty, the Bushes, these are RH negatives trying to negotiate this ancient blood feud. And so I can do no less than wish for some kind of reconciliation, some kind of, in fact, as I told you, that's how I read the Christ allegory of dying on the cross was, he was an O negative, which you are, which is universal donor, dies on the cross for the salvation of all. And the cross being the cross between these two blood types. So, I'm fine with that. That's fine with me. Let's just let that be. Why do we have to fight it after any more than that? It's supposed to be settled. Let's just work this out. And that's what I determined to do, and I can tell you are too.
Yeah, I think that it's going to be a point of some kind of communications. But
Mm-hmm.
the situation right now, I think that in at the top of the Illuminati pyramid, we can identify, as you told me before. I mean, they are not really extraterrestrial. Maybe they were already terrestrials than were living here, like reptilians. But these guys are what they call it, the chef shifter. Okay, they changing their face, and right now there are even cameras and they can identify all these changes, because they are a copy, they are a fake copy of a real human. Okay, and we already know that. So do you think that we are going to communicate with them to I mean, work together instead of be keeping them in highest positions to only have all our money, all our oil, all our gold, all, yeah.
I'm glad you asked that because I've found several videos on YouTube where they're just simply calling for wiping out all RH negative people, and I would like to make sure this doesn't get lost on anybody that uh, this this is a very very old, and what I believe, I can't prove it, but I believe it's the original bloodline, and in fact, the O negative is the original
Hmm.
pure human blood type. So, without getting into that too much, and it would take a whole nother program for me to go into the reptilian thing. But everybody has a reptilian brain core. But it's it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just argue this way. Let's say
Mm-hmm.
there are these shapeshifting reptilians that run things, and they just want us to mine gold. Well, who needs who?
Okay.
Who
Okay.
needs who? Do we need them? I can grow vegetables in my backyard and eat.
Mm-hmm.
You see, who needs who?
Do you think that these highest positions in our societies, they're going to I think that they are using a different kind of technology, or I don't know if it can be called a secret knowledge of than what we use as a science of technology. Okay, then I think that they were created by them only to I mean to give us fake ideas, but as a matter of fact, the human science and technology has been growing more, I think, than right now the secret knowledge than they have, because
Right.
basically of the computers. Okay,
Uh,
do you think these differences are going to continue? What is going to, I mean, why the separation between this knowledge? I mean,
I'm glad. Okay, great. First, the technology. What a lot of people don't realize is that all colleges have an occult background, and that started in England. That uh, where a particular English sir um, was contacting these other entities, and he wanted vast information about how they could escape this planet or advanced technology. And those entities said, "Sure, we'll give it to you, but we want in return we want blood." And this Englishman said, "Sure, how much?" And so from there, they went out and for you see this situation where uh, any technological leap has a huge amount of blood attached to it. And that's the dynamic that contacting these entities. Even Tesla admitted he was in connection with otherworldly entities to learn from. So yeah, I know what you're talking about with this this otherworldly. It's not alchemy. It's really just something called Kabbalah. You know, it doesn't matter. I mean, who cares? It appears that for any leap, there's a lot of blood that has to be spilled, and there's the dynamic. What more do you need?
yeah,
Uh, you
yeah,
know,
that's okay. Thank you very much, Kirk McMillian, for being in this program. I think that we have to do several more.
yeah, I'd be happy
Yeah,
to.
yeah, because nobody's talking about this situation of science and technology and patents, because I think that almost everybody's was murdered already. Okay, so we are really a survivors. And as a final point, do you want to add something, something that we haven't talked in these programs about specifically your patent, and how do you think that the science and technology are going to work, especially in the States? I mean, we are the country that generate more patents than any other country, and we want to keep it safe. I mean, we we want to earn money having the
Right,
technology. That's why I'm fighting right now with SAP and
right,
Oracle.
well, right. Well, I don't do all this just to have someone steal it. Forget that. No, I don't. That's not. I'm not amused, and I take personal offense when I see someone else like you and others having the same situation where you work so hard. I mean, you have this gift and all these you know ne'er the wells just think, well, there's someone to steal from, and they just get away with it. And then we have a fifth column here. The country is totally infiltrated by the fifth column, and they just You know, it's just total mess. You know, God help us, and I pray. I don't want to put too much hope in Mr. Trump, but it's a good start. It's a good start. You know, I don't even care if anybody says, "Well, he's got Illuminati friends." Well, you can't live at that level and not have rub shoulders with everybody. But you know, I think he's a man of conviction, and that's all that matters to me. I don't want to hear the rest. Don't waste my time.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, I think that, yeah, as I said, Trump, we need more negotiations in business to, I mean, it cannot be a loser when it's the creator of a technology than in your family case, than in my case in particular, and at the same time being attacked by these secret societies, they defending their situation, but they are not protecting us. And the U.S. has to be the one country that can define clearly this kind of situation. I hope that it's going to be in the near future. And thank you very much again, Kirk McMillian, for being in the
Yeah,
program. We're
let's
going
do it
to,
again.
yeah. Thank you very much, and good luck and
And
what you are
likewise,
doing. Thank
God
you very
bless.
much. Have a good day. Bye.